back with another beer review, and 2020 is right around the corner. I'm going to try to get a couple beer reviews and try to push them in to 2019, so maybe we can get a couple more into consideration for some of my list videos that I have brewing. But this beer for sure I really wanted to get in 2019, and you know, just in case it's a really good beer. And of course, you already know in the description, but we're doing Chimay Grande Reserve. It's supposed to be a Belgian quad. I think I watched a video of a guy, he like traveled to Belgium and like had shared the production line with one of the monks at Belgium, like once in a lifetime experience. Who doesn't want to do that? And I think he called this a Belgian quad. Now, calling beers Belgian doubles, triples, quads, I think that's an American thing, because over there in Belgium, it's kind of redundant to call it a Belgium triple when you're in Belgium. So the website just listed it as a dark ale. Needless to say, whatever it is, I'm excited for this beer. It's supposed to be one of the most celebrated beers in the world, just like that ABT 12 I reviewed earlier this year, and that was a Belgian quad. So I'm really hoping that I don't overhype this beer. Got my Chimay chalice, of course. My son's not asleep yet, so disclaimer, if you hear my son in the background, I'm a dad. You're just gonna have to get used to it when you watch my videos. The website did not have a lot to say about this beer. I do know it was brewed originally to be a Christmas beer. Let's get a little more head, pour it aggressively. So it is dark like that ABT 12. Nice, thick, kind of a creamier head. Not so much bubbly and soapy. More of a creamier head. Kind of an off-white, kind of a cream white looking, not quite beige or tan appearance. I can't see through the beer. Didn't expect to. There's carbonation in here, but I've got to look for it. I mean, the beer's not volatile enough to really notice anything. It's not black and it's not brown. It's got like ruby red highlights around it when I put it up to the light. It looks more like a really dark brown. Like when you look at cocoa bark, you know, when you're looking at real authentic cocoa and not like a chocolate candy bar. That's kind of, you know, the real dark stuff. That it's not quite black, but anyways, so that's the appearance. Fruity aroma and dark fruits, like I expected. I feel like my hands are playing with me. I sanitized my hands just a few minutes ago, so I think that's coming into the aroma. Yeah, definitely those dark fruits like raisins, cherries, plums, dates. those kind of fruits. Definitely getting a lot of that. Let me see if I can swirl and get some other stuff on here. What's the ABV while we're looking at it? 9% by volume, so not a sessionable beer by any means. Of course, this beer is meant to be drank. You know, you're reading a book by a warm fire. You know, just paint whatever scenario you want in your head, and that's what this beer is meant to be. Drink while you're doing it. It's malty. I don't get roast, but I get like barley malt for sure. It doesn't really come off as bready or anything. I don't know. It's hard to describe. No hop aroma. I think there's a tinge of spiciness on here now that I think the beer is warming up. I put my hand on the chalice, try to get it to warm up a little bit. I committed a cardinal sin with this beer. I pulled it right out of the fridge. So, yeah, I think there's some spiciness in there. Couldn't tell you what it is, but just some cooking spices, maybe nutmeg or something going on in there. Kind of a malty beer for sure. And then those dark fruits that I would have expected in a Belgian quad. So it definitely smells like a Belgian quad if it is not a Belgian quad. Head retention's pretty awesome. I like good head retention. I like talking about head retention in my videos. Just a thin, I don't want to say thin. It's like 1/8 of an inch of milky, creamy head. I just appreciate that, and I feel like the Belgian guys really get head retention, because their stuff doesn't really dissipate. Oh wow, that's pretty good. So there is some carbonation going on in there. It's not a flat beer like I'd hoped it would. I just like darker beers to be flatter. I don't like a lot of carbonation, and I feel like it's a psychology thing maybe. I just tend to associate darker beers with like darker fruits or nuts or coffee or thicker stuff. Excuse me. I don't associate it with like lighter things like a lager where it's really carbonated. So the carbonation is just a preference thing, but there's a lot of carbon coming up. But indeed it's tolerable for sure. I'm really getting those dark fruits on this beer. It's kind of got a drying finish. It's viscosity, I'd put light to medium, leaning towards medium, but not quite a real medium solid viscosity to it. I don't think I'm getting any chocolate with the spices on here. It is spicy, so maybe I don't remember if they even disclosed the IBUs. Maybe there's just a tad bit of those. You know, there's got to be German noble hops in here. I'd be surprised if there's not. I think just a tinge of the bitterness is floating in there. on the back end. I mean, it's barely noticeable though, but I think the bitterness kind of plays with the spices a little bit, and that's pretty nice. I get like the smallest hint. I mean, it's just like a kiss of alcohol on your tongue. So for 9%, it definitely doesn't drink like 9%. I'm not good at, I know a lot of you guys out there in beer too, y'all like to say, well, this drink's like a 5% ABV. It doesn't taste like a 9%. And I'm just not quite good enough to do that, but it definitely doesn't drink like a 9% beer, for sure. Just heavy on the dark fruits. It just really prominent. You know, like a really dark cherry comes to mind. Yeah, I think that's all what I'm getting. If you don't mind, if you want to watch the rest of the video, I'm going to read the back of this bottle. I don't usually like to do this, but I'm just going to fill in some time here, just to provide some more information. So it's stating here that it's got the official Trappist logo down here at the bottom. It's just certifying that it was brewed inside the walls of an existing Trappist monastery. The name escapes me, but I do know the name. A major part of the sales revenue is used by the monks to support charitable works. The exceptional yeast isolated by Father Theodore. So Father Theodore isolated the yeast used in this beer, combined with the purity of the highly protected water of the Abbey's wells, gives Chimay its unique richness. Since 1862, Chimay's secondary fermented ales have neither been pasteurized nor filtered, and only natural ingredients are used. To fully appreciate the robust character of Chimay Grande Reserve, serve slightly chilled in a wide-mouthed glass. It contains barley. Obviously, it contains barley. It's brewed in Belgium. They don't use much anything else in Belgium besides barley because of the Rijnsgebot. Yeah, so just to close it all out, dark fruits, cherries, plums, raisins, that kind of thing going on, and dark cherries, not like a candied cherry, not like a Kool-Aid cherry, nothing like it. Would be like a really dark cherry. There's some spices playing around in there, but man, you really gotta, like, at least for me, I really have to think about it. And I think that plays around with, like, there is some hop bitterness in here. But for people that do not like hop forward beers, please don't confuse this with like an American hop forward beer. Germans, not every, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. But for the most part, German brewers like to use hops mainly just to bitter. They'll age them to where all the aromatics and all the fun stuff Americans like hops for, that all kind of dies away, and then they're just left with the bittering components, and they'll put it in beer. So it's really not a powerful bitterness at all. From the 2 or 3 Belgian quads I'd have, assuming this is a Belgian quad, and if this is not a Belgian quad, please put it in the comments below. But yeah, I think the underlying hop bitterness, which I assume comes from the whole noble hops, the dances around with those spices a little bit, and I like that. It almost makes me think there's like they used one of the spicier hops in here, kind of like Hofbrau uses in its Dunkel, Munich Dunkel. So there's that beer. I'm let down. I'm not gonna lie. I overhyped this beer, and I hate that. But I'm glad I had this beer, anyways. It's a good beer. I think I like this style enough to claim it as a favorite style. But I think I'm going to give this a 4.25 out of a 5. Not quite an A beer. I wanted more complexity out of this beer. While I appreciate the dark fruit notes of this, I would have wanted some chocolate. And I'm guessing because they're more of a traditional Trappist brewery, I'm not going to get like the adjuncts like chocolate. So there's that. And then and since there's no chocolate, I'm assuming maybe they didn't roast this as much. I don't taste a lot of roast in this. I'd be curious to read the malt bill, but there is some mild roastiness with the barley going on in there. Yeah, 4.25. I would recommend this beer probably just to people who enjoy Trappist ales. If you enjoy Trappist ales, I think this is worth at least one time. It's worth, it's just worth one shot anyways. Just to say you've had Chimay. For anybody else, I think you could definitely find something better in the Belgian quad category, possibly even an American Belgian quad that would suit your fix. Anyways, and if you're from Alabama, Straight to Ale has a Belgian quad called Hellfire. It's like a quarterly release, I would say, that's seasonal. So if you're in Alabama and you ever see Hellfire from Straight to Ale, that is a Belgian quad if you're interested in the style. So that's all for me for now. Maybe I'll pump out another review here in a second. If not, I'll see you guys in 2020. Cheers.